It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wise discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather's senior meteorologist, Wesley Williams.
Waking Up with Wesley is sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.
All right, good morning everyone and happy Thursday. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. As we start things off for Waking Up with Wesley today, how about this morning? Basically one of the most comfortable mornings we've seen in over a week across the area. And we're going to take a look at how cool things got across South Mississippi. So let's take a look at some of that information as we get into your Thursday morning. So there's a look at some of those temperatures that we saw over the last week. And you're looking at this morning on the very right there, May 22nd, we got all the way down to 63 degrees. That was cooler than I was thinking. We were forecasting about 66, 67 for the coastal areas, but the Gulfport Airport went all the way down to 63 degrees this morning. And you'll notice that that's basically the coolest morning we've seen, the coolest low temperature we've seen out of any day over the last week for May 22nd. Now, this chart actually looks at the last 30 days, and yesterday, for example, we had a low of 66 or so. We had a high of 81. So you can see that low of 66, that high of 81. And this morning we had a 63. When's the last time we had 63? Well, you basically got to go all the way back here to, looks like the day after May 12th. So May 13th, we had a low temperature of 60. Today's the 22nd, so I mean it's basically almost 10 days since the last time we had temperatures this cool in South Mississippi. The month of May didn't really bring too many cool temperatures. The coolest we've been appears to be the 56, which was 1, 2, 3 days after the 2nd, so on May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo, we had a cool morning, 56. And it looks like the hottest temperature we've seen so far in May, probably right there yesterday afternoon, or 2 days ago on the 20th, we had a high of 87 degrees. So definitely have seen a variety of temperatures in the month of May. But this morning, certainly cooler than yesterday morning. Those numbers are down into the 70s as of the 8 o'clock hour. Still see a few 60s there, but as the sun gets higher and higher in the sky, things are certainly warming up. The big thing, though, regardless of the cooler conditions, it's the less muggy conditions that really, I think, make the big difference. And yesterday we had dew points way in the muggy 60s, but today those dew points are less muggy, down into the 60s. So no more 70s like we had yesterday, now down into the 60s. And it just feels nicer. If you haven't stepped outside today yet, you're in for a treat. When you walk out the door, it's going to be so refreshing. It'll make you just want to make time to spend outdoors today, whether you're enjoying this morning on the porch with a nice cup of coffee, or whether you have some activity scheduled for the middle of the day or the afternoon. I will say, though, later today, with that sun shining so bright, if you're in the sun directly, it's going to be a hot day. But if you find a nice, comfortable spot in the shade, I think you'll have a great time and you'll really enjoy it. Now, over the last 24 hours, we did get some rain in parts of South Mississippi. A lot of this happened yesterday in the afternoon, apparently, when a little batch of rain showers rolled in from the west, from Louisiana. And you can see that some places saw more than a ½ inch of rain in southern Jackson County. So that would be places near Pascagoula, Gaucher, Moss Point, where they picked up more than a ½ inch of rain in that blue area. But for the most part, most areas, that green color indicating less than a ½ inch of rain. And here's a look at First Alert radar this morning. I don't really see any rain worth mentioning here on this particular radar loop. We can zoom it out with this other radar map, and you really don't see much rain showing up near coastal Mississippi. The rain you find is at the very, very bottom of the map there, just offshore of Louisiana. And the Futurecast sees those showers down there near the coast of Louisiana. What does it do with them? Let's time it out for you. Here's a timing of today's rain chances. Noticing that the most of them stay south of our Mississippi coast. We've got kind of a bubble of high pressure. You can literally see the clockwise circulation around around the high pressure. Can you see it on this map? You've got the winds coming in from the east there, coming in from the south once you get to about to the west of that. And then you've got them coming in from the north and east. So you basically have this circle that's right about there. And that clockwise circle of circulation is right where that high pressure would likely sit. Anyway, with the high pressure nearby, that's why our weather is going to be on the dry side today over the Mississippi coast, but just outside of that high pressure near the Louisiana coast, you can see a few of those generally light rain showers closer to where a stalled front will be. You know, how do we get to this cool down? A cool front moved through our coast. Yesterday, that front was positioned like this, and then it kept coming south, and eventually it wound up stalling. And so the current position of that front is a stationary front, and it's basically situated just offshore. That is where, if any rain showers want to develop today, they're probably going to do it near that frontal boundary, near the coast of Louisiana. So that's where there's a better rain chance, closer to Baton Rouge, closer to New Orleans, and places that are south of New Orleans. But as you can see on this map, it shows for the most part, most of the rain should stay south of our Mississippi coast. So I think we're going into our Thursday and planning on many rain-free hours today. Not a 0% chance. You can see the map does show maybe a spot here or there where there could be just a stray rain shower. Here's our forecast for the coast as well as for inland as we get to the day ahead. Temperatures, first of all, rain chances will be around 10 to 20%, and temperatures will rise to 90 this afternoon, maybe 91 this afternoon in a place like Wiggins and Perkinston. So you can see those hotter temperatures away from the coastal waters this afternoon, and still some pretty warm temperatures near the coastal waters this afternoon with those mid to upper 80s showing up closer to the coast. So those temperatures combined with those lower rain chances, I think will make for a really nice day. Like I said, I recommend finding a comfortable spot in the shade, especially since it won't feel as muggy. Or if you're in one of those places where the temperatures are approaching the lower 90s, it might be a pretty good day to take a dip in the pool. We've got your pool forecast there, and it looks pretty good. Any day it's nice and hot and you don't have a lot of rain chances, perfect pool weather. So that will help you to cool off if you are, like I said, one of those places that see those 90s on the thermometer. So are we going to do it again? Are we going to see another cool morning again tomorrow? Not as cool, not to the degree that we have this morning, but I do think we'll still see some 60s. So there you can see those overnight temperatures falling from the 70s this evening to the 60s by Friday morning. And for the most part, it's looking like mid and upper 60s, not too many lower 60s like we saw this morning. So looks like a pretty mild night. Rain chances are slim, 10% or less, and we'll see a mostly clear sky. So this less muggy feel in the air, it's something you really just kind of want to bottle up and keep with you, but we might lose hold of it as we get closer to the holiday weekend. This shows how muggy each day will feel. And as far as Thursday is concerned, we started Thursday with a less muggy feel, but gradually as we get later into the afternoon and evening, the humidity might start to creep up a little bit. And then you can take a look at Friday, and that's a day that will be muggier. So whatever less muggy feel we have today might already be gone by the time we go to tomorrow. And it stays that way on all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and all day Memorial Day Monday. So the relief, like we told you, brief, pretty much just this morning, and then might be back into the muggy feel of things. And there's a look at the next 4 mornings for temperatures. Like I said, this morning that we have for Thursday morning, it's some cool stuff. We've seen lower 60s. I also saw some upper 50s in places like Perkinston and areas in Pearl River County too. But notice Friday morning, still some nice 60s, although maybe not as cool as this Thursday morning. And then there's the weekend, and the holiday weekend temperatures for those lows, those morning temperatures, look to be a bit milder. I don't see any temps near 80 like we had a couple of mornings ago in Biloxi, but it's certainly creeping up. So, of course, summer is on the way, and we're nearing the end of May. June 1st will be the first day of meteorological summer. That is a 3-month period, June, July, and August, which typically feature the hottest temperatures that we see each year. Meteorological months or meteorological seasons are determined by month. They go a little different from the calendar seasons, which are determined by the tilt of Earth with respect to the sun. But we'll have a lot of time to talk more about the seasons changing as we go to next month. For now, we're just looking ahead to a low rain chance into the first part of the Memorial Day weekend. And then you want to keep an eye on next Monday, next Tuesday, next Wednesday. Those are 3 days that could feature an increase in the rain chance as we monitor an approaching frontal system and upper disturbance that could help us to see a more consistently rainier pattern for the first half of next week. So if you have some Memorial Day weekend plans, maybe, lean more toward plans on Saturday and Sunday that have a little bit of a lower rain chance, whereas Monday does have a little bit of a higher rain chance based on the current information. Well, that'll do it for today's edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. I hope that you have a wonderful Thursday, and I hope that you take advantage of the nice weather that we have today. Take care. We'll see you again next time.
Waking Up with Wesley has been sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.